are every bit as slick, well-run and profitable as the mainstream film companies over the valley in Hollywood. Anabolic Studios, the company who'd earlier let me watch Sweet Cheeks 11 being shot, wanted to show me their everyday corporate setup. Dan, the studio manager, gave me the guided tour.
Here's some of the props that we have on hand. We have trampolines, big ticket items, blow-up couches, colorful items. All right,
That's
Tim.
it.
Now
we're ready to shoot, aren't we?
Look good?
What's the sheep for?
Good question. So, what's the sheep for?
Oh, that's probably for Sweet and Petite, because the girls are all like 5'2" and under, and usually under 100 pounds. So they'll have big stuffed animals, or they'll sit in big chairs just to help make them look even smaller.
This board is when we have a female come in, call her a go-see. She goes around and comes to see all the manufacturing studios. We take some shots of her, fill out this model, fill out a model release, and have her ID all prepared, ready to go.
Okay, proof of age and stuff.
Yep, proof of age, and then her do's and don'ts, and some other interesting facts about the girl.
And the line's been willing to do it or not willing to do it?
Yeah, willing to do. So as you can see, a lot of these girls...
She will do anything?
Most of them will.
So this girl, who's 20, Megan, who's 20, will do girl, girl, boy, girl, boy,
It didn't take long for the list to become unsuitable for a BBC audience. In fact, I was struggling to find any suitable audience for some of the acts she was willing to take part in. As I read through the list, there really was nothing this girl wasn't prepared to do on camera.
Transsexuals.
Yep.
Yeah,
This girl's a superstar. So this is our warehouse. We have about 50,000 square feet.
Blimey. It's absolutely enormous.
Of space.
I mean, this isn't a cottage industry. This is a full-on warehouse, isn't it?
Yeah. Right now, he's putting a few dicks in the box, penises. There's Chris, the CEO and owner of Anabolic.
Hi. How long have you been in the business?
Close to 20 years.
Do some of your films end up in hotel chains, you know, or on cable TV?
Yes, they do.
Are you surprised that some of these kind of big, wholesome hotel chains or cable companies make pretty good money from showing some, you know, quite hardcore stuff?
Not surprised at all. The information that I have is the hotel chains that carry adult, or not, or the vendors, the cable providers, are actually making the bulk of their income from the adult as opposed to the mainstream releases, is the information that I have.
Do you think you'll end up pushing into new markets through the internet? Will you end up pushing into places like Africa?
Well, currently we sell our products to vendors that distribute in Africa. I get tons of fan mail from Ghana, West Africa.
Would you have any copies in your office, do you think?
I'm sure there must be something up there. Let's go to my
let's have
office.
a look, yeah. Got a good tread on the carpet.
Yeah, it's a
bouncy carpet.
Thank you. The reason why I am writing to you this letter is that I want to be an American sex star, and I need your help. This is my picture, and my number is, puts his phone number there. I hope to hear from you as soon as possible.
The idea of wannabe porn stars in Africa writing to a specific company in LA was mind-boggling. To gauge the human impact of porn's pervasiveness, I spoke to Relate in the UK, who say there's been a huge increase in relationships being strained by compulsive sexual behaviour caused by pornography. I then contacted health professionals around the world to see if they'd noticed any impact of Western porn on people's behaviour. A doctor in Bangalore in India said he'd had school children who'd become so addicted to porn they'd failed their exams and dropped out of school. A field worker in Tanzania told me that after a porn film was shown in her village, a woman was forced to have anal sex, which her husband had just seen in the film. And a doctor on the other side of the world, in Papua New Guinea, said he knew of teenagers who'd watched porn, felt inadequate, and harmed themselves in botched attempts to make their penises bigger. And then there was the letter Anabolic Studios had received from Ghana. Maybe I should head out there and see firsthand what impact the US porn is having around the world. Maybe it was time to try and find Mark, the guy who'd written the letter. But first stop in Ghana was a village in the impoverished north of the country. There I met Ernest, a health education teacher, who was working with the local school children, trying to teach them the importance of abstinence in the fight against AIDS. I was interested to find out whether any of these children had been exposed to porn.
From the experience she's also given, she has watched some pictures. some pictures where you see man and a woman having sex, lying on each other.
There's a guilty face if ever I saw one.
I went outside with the porn-watching kids. They took me to the hut where a generator gets wheeled into the village and porn films are shown, films which are made in America.
This one. So this is the cinema?
Yes.
And this is where you watch the porno film? Just someone's shack, I think. You couldn't think of a more incongruous place to watch an American porn film than a mud hut.
Before they ran off, the younger boys told me that after watching porn films, their older brothers would send them off to find girls for them. I went to see the older boys. What they told me, I found chilling.
How do you feel after you watch?
Okay, so come on.
Come on, yeah.
When they watch it, as a bachelor or someone who has no wife, you go to watch it. When you come, you have sleepless nights. In the sense that you will be thinking about having sex, but you don't have a partner. So it sometimes prompts you to go to rape somebody, to rape a woman in order to satisfy your sexual desire. But it's good that if you are watching such a film, you do it with your partner so that you practice.
Have they actually gone and raped somebody after watching a film?
So so because come on to machine. So I will lab ma.
It happens, and that usually it is not. You cannot just come and say these are the people who do it, but they know of such cases.
And so do you ever watch the videos together with your girlfriend?
So they want to rather ask a question to you again, whether in your own experience, have you always watched such films alone or with your girlfriend?
When I've been on my own, I'll watch on my own, and occasionally watch with a girl. You know, occasionally. But it's normally something you do on your own.
And it's not just young men who are being affected by porn. The women are the ones who are bearing the brunt of the porn fallout.
I was just wondering whether anyone had any experience of men whose attitude or behaviour has been changed by watching pornography.
So, the man the shot comes out.
Come at an abandoned younger. Mamma Bannon, but no Probanco to Lancaster. The love Flint's man,
She's been married to her husband for more than 30 years. In the last 3 years, he's got into porn, and the marriage has run into real trouble. Gosh.
Whilst illicit porn films are shown in mobile cinemas in these villages, Ernest is putting on a very different type of entertainment. Every month he stages a play that teaches people about the virtues of abstinence in the fight against HIV. But a local theatre group is no match against hardcore American porn when it comes to grabbing the attention of susceptible young men. And speaking of susceptible people, in the capital Accra, I finally found Mark, the guy who wrote the letter to Anabolic in LA, asking to star in their films. It turns out that he's probably not cut out for a career in porn. He's chronically shy, could barely look at the camera, and he's a virgin.
What was the inspiration which made you write to the porn production company in Los Angeles?
Nuke you find up Nangola Tamadura ni porn production company. I'm a feeling among me. I just have the feeling that I should write. I watched their movie and I saw their address, contact address on the movie, and I felt like I should write to them, so I wrote.
Do you write many letters to porn companies?
Me, anabolic, American
Only once.
Only once.
But he says he's genuinely confident Anabolic will write back soon, and he'll be off to LA to start a new life as a porn star. Mark spends half his money on porn films, and there's no shortage of it. In Accra, hardcore American condom-free porn is easily available.
Bloody hell. I mean, that's something stretched about as wide as I've ever seen. It doesn't look anything stretched.
As with most porn, there were no condoms in sight. No wonder there's real alarm at the country's National AIDS Commission. I went to meet the Commission's head, Saki Awuka Amoa.
You're welcome, thanks very much. I guess it's one of the consequences of globalisation that you can make a film in Los Angeles and
yes, Los Angeles has an objective for producing that film. When they were producing the films, maybe they did not think that their films will have negative consequences on other behavior patterns in Africa. Those films get to us. You have young boys and girls trying to practice what they are showing in their films. That's where they need to sit down and say, are we doing the right things? Africans, because of colonization and because of westernization, have more or less their minds tuned to believe that anything coming from the West is the best. Anything that is done by the West is the standard. And therefore, they look at these pornographic films and they see people having anal sex. And they think, if this can be done, why can't we try it here?
Do you think the influx of Western pornography could lead to a bigger outbreak of HIV/AIDS in this country?
It could lead to the increase of the prevalence rate. A bigger outbreak, yes, is possible, but if we continue to put in place the interventions we're doing, we may avoid that. But the chances that it could lead to that is there. It's something that we cannot run away from. It is a time bond. No doubt about it. We need to recognize that it has the potential of destroying all the achievements we have made to date. And we need to find a way of handling it.
The AIDS Commissioner's concerns are serious and aren't theoretical. Kofi and Frank both watch their fair share of Western porn. Both are HIV positive.
When did you first start watching pornography?
Maybe when I was 20. When I was 20, my friends go through the internet. So when I followed them to the internet, I got to know there is something like that. So it's through there that I learned how to have sex.
That's how you learnt?
Yeah.
How to have sex?
Yeah.
Not from education?
No. Through the internet. When we go to the internet.
The porn you were watching, was it American or
American?
African?
American porn.
American?
Yeah, because that one is cheaper here.
It's cheaper? Do you think there is a link between the pornography you watched and you catching HIV?
Yeah.
Why do you think that there is a link between you catching HIV and the pornography that you had been watching?
The link is that when I watch it, porn, I feel like go in bed with a woman. You understand? So maybe I may be watching a porno. After I finish, I said, let me go out for a woman.
They don't use condom when they are doing that kind of sex at this time. They don't use condom.
Are you influenced by seeing the fact that they're not wearing condoms? Yes, does that influence you?
Yeah, because they were not using. So I also
they were not using, so he too wasn't using condom.
Here's my house.
Kofi took me back to his tiny house. His 4-month baby girl was born HIV-free. but Kofi has infected his wife.
Your wife?
Yes, my wife.
And Tim? Do you think the pornography had something to do with you catching HIV?
Aside. Yeah, that yes. Because I was watching porn, I got it and gave it to her. So she is condemning porn.
Any notions I had about porn being just a spot of fun were well and truly shattered after Africa. This really was one of the more unforeseen consequences of globalisation.